If God is with you, who can be against you? I started my journey in 1998. It was not easy. The fact that, Roland, you are the first son makes you naturally a leader, but he clearly defined for him what was leadership all about. First, the world need Africa than Africa need the world. That leadership has nothing to do with titles. But the issue that I saw as a kid was Indian hemp, what called banga, and that has a huge damage on them. We see a young person has a master's, look for a job, second master's, third master's. Honestly, if that's not failure, please give me another explanation about that. The youthful nation of Africa is a promise and not a problem. Sports should be a business. Don't go to bed with all the girls. Need a discipline. Don't take the money that you're in America, you're in Canada, you're in Dubai, and you can't pay salaries. The question that keep coming from these young people was, what should they do to be successful? I became a bit worried. Now the question I asked them, for you, what is success all about? They didn't have a clear answer of what they put in that word success. But your friends are prostitutes. Then I'm sorry, you are a prostitute. You know, Luther King said it, don't allow anybody to make you believe that you are nobody. We are playing the Champions League. And if you want to go to Champions League, I'm sorry, must go with amazing weapons. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, why are you going to Canada? Come on, people are going. What? Thank you, Obama, for inviting me, and congratulations for this great initiative. The aspect that I passionate about, and that most of the time they don't really like highlight, is that I'm a parent. It's the biggest leadership responsibility, being a father. So I'm married almost 24 years, and we have been blessed to have 3 kids. Not to talk about the young people around the world that we try to empower every day. So you said everything. Then I'm also an author. So far, I've published 4 books. Impact of One, that was also the theme of my mandate as JCI president in 2010. It became a book which is the capacity of each and every one of us to create an impact. And then the second book, Impactitude Spirit, which is more a motivational, a daily reading that touches all the aspects of life, but built on 3 important pillars: aptitude, attitude, and action. So I did volume 1 and volume 2. Then the 4th book, Transform Action. It is 15 years of experience of Go Ahead Africa in terms of building and training corporate leaders and helping organizations to make sure that the change management processes become something that is quite not like easy, that they have tools to make it more successful. So that's all. And then maybe also I'm a Catholic Christian and I practice my faith. Active citizen, a citizen of the world. Yeah, I think I also rarely speak about my late father. People listen to me. I talk a lot about my mom. My mom is just amazing. But I think my father is my hero. So for those who read The Impact of One, it's to him that I dedicated the book, to my hero that passed away, I think, a bit early in 2008 during a car accident. So my father was a police instructor, a teacher, police college in Mutengene, and he was mostly in charge of discipline. So just to tell you the type of value, I'm the first son of a family of 10. I have 9 siblings. So in raising me up, he insisted that the fact that, Roland, you are the first son makes you naturally a leader, but he clearly defined for him what was leadership all about. First, serving. Second, about responsibility, to take responsibility. I don't want the blame game, what I've called the ABC syndrome. Don't accuse others when you don't accomplish your goal. Don't blame others why things are not working, and don't complain. So ABC syndrome, and this will help me to take care of my junior brothers, junior sisters, and to make sure that I had to be a role model for them. And from there, I think I had a good understanding about leadership, not the wrong understanding about privileges, dressing well, speaking. No, it has nothing to do. As JCI president, I traveled intensively around the world, and I had one request. I asked the country I visited to offer me a book on a personality that had a huge impact in the country. So I had a lot of books. I think I received 54 books out of the 70 countries I traveled. So 4 books, only 3 of the books are biography or autobiography of head of state. In Jamaica, I received 2 books, Bob Marley, Pan-Africanism, Marcus Garvey. They don't give me a book on the country as many great prime ministers. No. If I go to India, they offer a book on Gandhi or Mother Teresa. Gandhi was never prime minister of India. So again, it's just quite, this is a clear proof that leadership has nothing to do with titles. So sometimes we make a confusion between titleship and leadership. And all those principles from childhood, from my father, but so I think this understanding of those principles will help me with growing up to know that it's important to take responsibility. When there is a need, you take the lead. But taking the lead here means being solution-oriented. You're a solution provider. If we think like that, then we understand that leadership has nothing to do with title and positions. As you can have a title and be a leader, by the way. So it's like, I'm not saying, you can have a title and you are a leader. But the title do not automatically makes you a leader. No. The question I can put, but who tells you that nothing good can come from Mutengene? If I had to paraphrase it. No, I think I keep amazing souvenir, and my brothers and sisters from Cham, they know I love them. Now, Mutengene, quite rough. My father was transferred in 1980. So we arrived in Mutengene in 1980, and it was a different environment. But where in my childhood, I still have a souvenir of plenitude. I mean, when I say plenitude, happiness, neighbors, nice, but a lot of pidgin. That's why I started learning pidgin English. And where also you could see a lot, there was solidarity, no issue of tribes. I mean, you could go to, but the issue that I saw as a kid was the Indian hymn, what we call Banga. I was really like, wow, I saw in the primary school, young people taking it, but maybe I was so lucky, nobody gave it to me because maybe I was too small or very weak. I don't know. But I saw some of my childhood friends, and that has a huge damage on them. But if you remove that aspect, I think it's a carrefour. People come, they meet, but it's also a city that makes you to be very strong because nothing is easy. It's a city that has not a good reputation, but people are good. People are so good there, and I will always keep a very positive. I took my first Holy Communion in Catholic Church Mutengene. I grew there. I have good souvenir. Top Tazan Mutengene, the team. My father was also a good footballer and trained some young people that had a good football career. Some of the grand frères, when they see me, they will always thank my father. Where this thanks your dad, all that. Very strict, very hardworking person. So, and that makes me very proud to see that my father kept a great legacy, not about the buildings, but his reputation, because he was someone that was very hard on us in terms of discipline, but that was also very generous. No tribe, all kids were like the kid. If you guys did a nonsense somewhere, he would come and punish. I remember even mommies coming to my father to complain about a kid very far. He would go there and deal with you. So that was that. And all these childhood friends, when they always say, guy. But there's a development association and I'm part of them. We have good conversation. It's important for us to change the narrative because the town, when I look at the WhatsApp forum, they are great guys. University lecturers, priests, entrepreneurs. Despite that neighborhood, when you were very focused, you could still make it. And that's what happened my case, but you have hundreds of cases like me, those who through Mutengene they made it. Maybe it is important to even rethink, and I'm happy with this question. we need to rethink the system. We can do a quick, what I call in BiiG Africa, a RAI analysis. It means what should we eliminate? And it will bring together all the stakeholders. It's very important for me. I believe in collective management and participative approach. All the stakeholders of education system, bring them, even like a 3-day workshop. What do we think we should eliminate? What should we stop doing? You'll be surprised. It will generate a lot of ideas. I've done it alone, but it's important to do it collectively. So what are the things that we should eliminate? What are the things that we should reduce? What are the things that we should ameliorate? And what are the things that we should innovate? Take in consideration the brainstorm and the reflection I've had since it's part of my passion. I think it is important to now build an educational system that takes in consideration our realities. What are the challenges that our country, our communities are facing? First question. We identify those challenges. Now, how do we solve them? Now, the educational system comes as a solution. Maybe I don't know if history is relevant, history. If math is relevant, I don't know if you are getting me. So it becomes a solution-oriented educational system. It means the second will be entrepreneurship and financial literacy. Yeah, it's very important. When I say entrepreneurship, not that all of them will open business, but entrepreneurs is a whole philosophy of life. It's a way of thinking. So I think it's important. Now, financial literacy, because it's important, and I've seen a tribe, what called the Bamileke, the way they manage money. As a kid, it was perceived like they are selfish, they are greedy. But when you look critically, you cannot be a successful entrepreneur, a businessman, if you don't have a good mastery of financial. Forget about it. If you might create things. I've seen young people for years that have trained, tried to support or mentor. If they are weak on that aspect, they might even have finance that some have written good stuff, grants, hundreds of millions, but they have collapsed. You have to know how to manage money. So for me, the financial literacy will start very early. The third will be the digital, not because it's the talk of the day. Digital literacy and even artificial intelligence will help. For me, I see them as an X factor. It can accelerate. So it is important also to look at that aspect. Then the other element will be more vocational training. At this point, the vocational training is perceived by the stakeholder, by parents, as something that they send you there when it's like a failure. When you go there, it means things have not worked. People still want to send to grammar school, whereas the vocational education, we need to rebrand it, not be good marketing about it, and also demonstrate how relevant it is. So I don't think we should be going on long system, advanced level, then after 5 years, 7 years, no. Practical. We look at the community. What are those challenges? Those challenges are opportunities, business opportunities, and now the educational system brings solution. Yes, but there will still be theory because it's very important to understand concept behind. I personally, I would say I've gone to school, but I'm not like saying they shouldn't go to school. But I say not a very long and theoretical system. You see, a young person has a master's, you look for a job, second master's, third master's. Honestly, if that's not failure, please give me another explanation about that. And quite frustrating because we will not accuse that young person that you didn't go to school. When we were kids, they said, okay, if you don't go to school, you'll be a failure. Our parents said that. And I want to thank them. We went to school, and thanks to school, but that school, today's 21st century, it can't be the same. The world has changed. There is a lot of transformation going on. Now, if we don't change, how do we want to competing? Today we compete in Africa. You compete with the Chinese, compete with the Americans, you compete with the Europeans. Yeah. Even in Cameroon, you compete with the guy in Rwanda, you compete with Côte d'Ivoire. So we're in a world of highly competition. So it's important for us we're playing the Champions League. And if you want to go to Champions League, I'm sorry, you must go with amazing weapons. And our young people with this educational system are not equipped to address today's world and not to talk about tomorrow. When I finished my JCI presidency, I decided with Emile, my wife, we launched BiiG Africa. We launched it with the support of two great mentors, Ted Ayon, who is in Boya, and George Moffat. So they were part of the brainstorming and even the support system. Now, BiiG is essentially a leadership, management, and coaching firm that go to the organization, to companies, work in hand with the HR and the GM to see how we can empower the staff with soft skills. It means how to communicate, how to collaborate, how to motivate, how to build, how to speak in public, how to make presentations, how to solve crisis, how to think, what we call the design thinking, critical thinking. And all those skills we are saying, if you look at our educational system, do not give these guys. So when they come now, they will have challenges in collaborating. We work on that. So we have been, so far in 15 years, we created a GoAhead in 2010, more than 60,000 professionals we have trained, and from 80 organizations within 10 African countries so far. In our 5-year plan to now go international, opening. So we have opened an affiliate in Central African Republic, where we have GoAhead Africa there. Then we have franchise in Mali, in Burkina Faso. And before the end of this year, there are other 2 we are signing. But the goal is in the next 5 years to be in at least 10 African countries. It can be in franchise or direct investment affiliate. Now, we are also invested a lot in our digital process, where we strongly believe that it's important to start having platform that can give access to many Africans in terms of our experience in leadership, in management, in team cohesion, in motivation, and all the rest. So we'll go. But the other element that we have done is to standardize, because after 15 years, we have developed almost 80 models, training models. Yeah. Now, we are trying now to standardize those training models, making sure that they address the current challenges that professionals are facing in terms of helping them to be more performant, but also what are the challenges of tomorrow? Because that's what pushed me to do a GBA in strategic management, because it's important to now start to even anticipate that in the next 25 years, where do we think the African professionals, what will be the challenges that they will face? You cannot manage organizations that are outstanding without projection, without forecast. And that's one of the greatest challenges. We live like there will be no tomorrow, whereas there is a tomorrow. And even the tomorrow, we should be doing things now that we might not even see the result. And that's why we have a leadership academy, where it is part of corporate social responsibility initiatives of GoAhead Africa. We have been training also young people yearly, thousands we have done, and empowering them, training them in leadership, entrepreneurship, and active citizenship, because it's important for these young professionals to not always expect. They should also give. Yeah, they should learn to give back. And you are a graduate of the academy, when we do the academy, we always take you guys to the orphanage. And in the orphanage, why do we take them there? Because it is important for them to count their blessings. Because if not, young people will keep complaining. They're not happy, they're angry, which is normal. If things are not okay, guys, it's important to say, to express yourself. But don't stop there. You must also be a solution provider. I keep saying you should be the solution, even if you are not the problem. That's the extreme. Because people know you should be the solution, not the problem. No. Sometimes I'm not the problem, so I don't care. No. You are not the problem, fine. Be the solution. You must be the solution. And when you have been blessed, you must be a blessing to others. And this is what we call social responsibility, or individual social responsibility, which is something that is lacking a bit. And that is part of even the African philosophy of life, Ubuntu. But that more and more is missing. We shouldn't go far from there. If you have made it, please, you must also bring people on board. There is no need being happy alone, eating alone. I don't know. I personally, it's difficult for me to eat alone. I must eat with someone. It's part of our African DNA. And if you touch the DNA for those who have done science, then that's the end. So we shouldn't touch that DNA of Ubuntu. I think the one of the lessons is that good planning. It's an organization that every 5 years project called the SPC, the Strategic Planning Committee. So a lot of planification, a good organization, good structures, also succession planning. It's a 1 year to lead. You are president just for 1 year, but there is an identification of leaders many years ahead. You are groomed, you are prepared. You don't just lead like that. But what I've also seen is the diversity. You said it is in more than 100 countries. You are in a board of directors of more than 23 nationalities. When I was JCI president, when look at 23 nationalities in the board. So it means diversity is a strength. But it's also, the lesson I've learned there is that when young people are united, they can do powerful things. And that the youthful nation of Africa is a promise and not a problem. But because of poor leadership or because of the deficit of leadership, of great leadership, the youthfulness of the continent has become a problem. Whereas for me, it's a blessing, especially Generation Z, Z generation. We should really see them as a promise. Now the question, do they see themselves as a promise or as a problem? So I think JCI has helped me a lot to be a better version of who I am in terms of leadership, entrepreneurship, social responsibility, but also internationalism. Because, the fact that you travel around the world is an amazing, those who travel are rich, not material rich. I mean, you understand. If you see the conflict around the world, in countries, in community, because people don't know each other. If today in my country, you talk about Anglophone. When I'm with my brother Francophone, you talk about Anglophone, I will say stop because I know Anglophone. Because my childhood, and this is for all Anglophones that even are in the French part, the way they will talk about Francophone is quite, because they know. I don't know if you are getting what I'm, but if you don't know someone, you'll be biased, you'll be saying things based on what you heard or rumor, but when you know. So I personally, thanks to JCI Cameroon, I traveled in Cameroon. I've gone to the 10 region and to more than 42 or 45 division, the department, thanks to JCI. And now when I even started my social entrepreneur business, Adcom, because I was installing computer labs in schools, it was also thanks to JCI business plan competition project that I could build my first business plan in 2003. Now, when you see, whereas I was an entrepreneur by intuition, but those training helped me to structure my business. So training me. Now, the other advantage is that the fact that this organization has good programs for young people that want to be better. If we can really tap there. Now, I keep saying to my friend, next week I'll be to Bangui this weekend, but next week I'll be in Nigeria for the Africa and Middle East JCI Senate Conference. It's in Abuja. It's important for Africa, and that will be one of my messages there. Although it's a global organization, but young people around the world are facing different problems. If I ask you what is the number one challenge of the African youth, it's employability. So how do we address it? And you see, in this process, questions, and that's also one of the great things I learned in JCI, my journey, even the presidency. Questions are more important than even answers. But we don't ask ourselves questions. Do we reflect? Do we have critical thinking approach? Do we look at things and say, hey, why not? Do we come off our comfort zone? Or do we continue to accuse, blame, and complain? I would strongly advise the political leaders to invest in culture, entertainment. It's a huge opportunity there. But this entertainment and culture should be based on our tradition. What are the great things? What are our cultures? I mean, when I put culture, I put food there, I put dress. This is almost 9 years that I discovered a great guy in Nigeria, Obina. Obina is brand is Maison. Thanks to Pascal, who is also a past JCI president, one of my godsons, and Chibuke. These are my guys in Nigeria. So I used to go and they would say, President Roland, I sold, the corporate world. And they offered me a dress. When I myself wore it to that event, I remember my wife saying, wow, You look good with this stuff. And that's how it became part of my dress code. I've not changed. Now, it is important for Africans to invest. For me, this is culture. It means the movie, music, food, and all the extension. So for me, there's a huge potential. The second that I will advise the political leaders to invest would be in the field, the digital. There's a huge potential, but they need infrastructure, the internet connection, the facilities of the materials so that they really go on it. But when we push them there, for them not just to consume, but to produce. From Africa, we can do many things. India has become a hub of the IT intelligentsia. Why not Africans? I saw how the Silicon Mountain in Boya. I had the second or the third cyber cafe in Boya in 1998. So when people talk about Silicon Mountain, I laugh. Many of those young passed through. We had cyber cafe. So I'm passionate about IT. I created multimedia centers in schools. We created almost 80 multimedia centers and we touched more than 300,000 students. Outcome. So I know what I'm talking about. Then the third will be agriculture. But not the agriculture I'm saying. I think for me, Roland should be a role model. The government should go to him with all humility. Hey guys, how can we now push this, nationwide? We cannot continue to do agriculture with cutlasses, Yeah. So that's why I see, and make it even sexy. If not, people will still sing agriculture, the grandmother with the old, no. The agribusiness. I don't know if you are getting, yes. For me, those are, then there are other fields, but these are fields that with less, massive investment in terms of facilities and infrastructure than these young people. Then last but not the least, I love sport. Sport should be a business. I'm not talking sport business. If the sport is managed by corporate guys, as we run our companies, we run the sports like that, you can see the Western world, what sport has become. So for me, these young people are healthy, they are powerful. Please, sport as business, but sport also as an element for their health. I'll be turning 55 very soon. Every day, I do my keep fit. 5 to 15 minutes. Not more. 5 to 15 minutes every day. This is my secret. So I know how powerful. And all my clients, they know about when we go on retreat, strategic retreat, we get up at 5:30, we must have 30 minutes. They know. The cassage. They know that go ahead. It's not negotiable. And today they thank me. How can you be a leader and you are not healthy? And health, we know that sport is equal to health. I'm not talking sport to cut weight. It helps you because when you do it, now you are Aleph. You are smart. You can work and they'll say, this guy maybe is not normal. My staff, they say I'm not normal. I sleep less than 4 hours a day since 2009. When I was running the campaign to be JCI president, I became JCI president. Then they know, you guys did it 24 hours chrono. You did Leadership Academy. You saw the 24-hour chrono. It means we start at 5 in Ombe, at 5 a.m. and all the whole day you are up and you just go to your room to change and go and do sport. It means at least once in your life, you shouldn't sleep. And young people are surprised. We do in the academy, you were there. We call it Venkatra Chrono. I don't want to tell how many Venkatra Chrono I've done in my life. If there's a project, there's an initiative, I will not sleep. So if you have the right mindset, but you have to take care of your body. Don't eat casually. Don't eat late. Self-discipline. Avoid alcohol. You can but avoid it. Then sport. And sport for a year, I've said 5 minutes. I'm not talking about going to Mount Cameroon race. No. I'm talking about getting up on YouTube. I have my 5 to 15. Saturdays 30. But if I'm late 5 minutes, I must do it. It's a ritual. I'm giving you some of the secret. Why maybe you put a guy of 35 years with me. If we have to compete, I'm afraid that even in terms of endurance, he will be surprised. I might look quite, but my level of my staff, they will tell you that the boss is, sometimes even the driver, you need 2 drivers because they were like, this guy is not normal. But that's the secret. It's about personal discipline. You see, you don't touch. You see, you don't take. We have averagely a seminar a week since 15 years. Sometimes twice, 2 seminars a week. Do you know in a seminar for the corporate world, you have breakfast, you have a post-cafe break at 10:30, you have lunch, you have afternoon break, you have dinner. How many food? How many meals? 5 meals. Do you think it's normal? But for them, since they are coming maybe for 2-3 days, they want, but for us, go ahead. Imagine if we eat. So what we do is that, and they started, no, even the client, they observe me. Okay, I will take the breakfast, very important. But the coffee break, I will take a fruit or my water. Then the lunch, I will take again. Then the afternoon coffee break, I can take again a juice, water, or tea too. Then the evening light. But you see croissant, you take. You see arrow, you take. You see fukan, jama, you take. You just, oh my God. You can see and don't think. Now, let us bring this on leadership. If you are a corporate leader, an entrepreneur even, you have to be very careful even with your staff. I say that to you young people. Don't go to bed with all the girls. You need a discipline, self-discipline. How do you manage your emotions? And that's why, you see, if the money come in and you become mad, it means there is something that is missing. They need to educate you. You need to respect the staff, from the men, the female staff, protect them, respect them. You need to respect the revenue of the organization. You might be the founder, but please, you have other stakeholders. The staff, don't take the money now. You're in America, you're in Canada, you're in Dubai, and you can't pay salaries. You are not disciplined. But if you live a disciplined life, you lead by example. Believe me, the day there's no money, the staff, nobody will be angry. First, because there's transparency in your organization. Second, the boss. But if they see you are up and down, all women, because when you chase all these women, you pay for it. Let me be very clear. Because some young people think they're very handsome. I say, no, forget. There's a price to pay. And sometimes you are going to take money in your organization, the coffer. And that's why I see in the beginning of our conversation, I spoke about the financial literacy, why it was important on personal finance to educate, for me, very early, at the early stage of our educational system. How do we manage finances? How do you manage money? If you know how to manage money, it will help you even to know how to manage the other aspect of your life. It's very difficult to be reversed, very difficult. So I think we should be careful about it. I might say it was, sometimes I have joke on that, but that is my plea, especially to the young, that please be careful. Watch out, exercise. That's why I say sport was a huge business, but it's also, if you go to Japan, you impress. I mean, old people doing sport. Sport becomes like a religion. I'm always impressed when I go to Japan. I mean, you see people, they keep fit. That's why they live. You can see the average is 80-something years. So the impact of one is more like a call to action, drawing our attention that each and every one of us can do something, should do something. You don't need to have many things. You don't need to have a position. You don't need to have a title to create change. That was the impact of one, which was my team as JCI World President. I transformed it. And in that book, it was also like autobiography. My childhood, Nubel, Mutengene, Boya, then became JCI World President. So I try to share my journey. But the impact it is spirit, and I'm happy, it's more a philosophy built on what I have called the 3A. The first A that will help a young person to make in life is aptitude. It means competency, skills. Now the question, if you see our two friends, the technician, they are behind, it's a skill. What can you do? What are you capable of doing? What skills? Don't tell me you have 3 masters. What can you do? If you come and meet me as a business owner, what can you do? You tell me you can drive. You can drive. I can construct a process. I can make sure that I audit your finances. I can take care of your account system. That's skills. I call that A, aptitude. The second A, attitude. Your belief system, your value system. What are your principles, your life principles? Is it integrity, honesty, discipline? What is your reputation? Because if you are not serious in small things, you will not be serious in big things. When you called me a few weeks about this program. I gave you the date. We should tell our followers that it took almost 2-3 hours because I had to do one. But I'm patient. It's so late, but we are still doing it because I gave my word. I don't have 2 words. The greatest assets of entrepreneurs is reputation and credibility. And why do you think I accepted? Because I have the image of a young person that came to me in Boya a few years ago with a project, all that. That's the image in my office in class quarter. I think 10 years ago, I don't know, when I was still, yes, you came. This is why I still, then we did the academy. Okay. I told you, Thursday this, come, we do the program. That's it. One word. Then I told you, can you even come early? But it was late because you already had other arrangement. Okay. I've blocked and asked you how long. You told me we can do 1 hour, although we are almost 2 or 3 hours. But again, I'm trying to demonstrate how powerful the attitude. If you came to me 10 years ago in Boya, wrongly dressed, poorly dressed, bad manners, first will have been the end. Then even 10 years you come after, I will have a wrong perception. Maybe you have changed, but the first impression will be here. So attitude. Now the third is action. I've been following what you are doing. So I know this guy is action oriented. Action speaks louder than word. So for me, the impactitude spirit is that arithmetic formula A plus A plus A equal to A. So aptitude plus attitude plus action equal to altitude. Altitude here is like the performance, final output. So that is the impactitude spirit philosophy developed by Roland Kwemain. That is a gift from God. I don't think I did something so special. I've been gifted in terms of communication, expressing things that are very complex in a very simplified way. I thank God for that. I don't think I should take any credit for that. In my Facebook, The Impact of One, I spoke about the 5 barometers of success. Why did I write those barometers? Because after my JCI presidency, even in Boya or even because I rested a bit and then I started attending the academy, the question that keep coming from these young people was, what should they do to be successful? What do they do to be successful? I became a bit worried. Now the question I asked them, for you, what is success all about? So that we start. Why do you say Roland Kwemain is successful? And they look, and many times I can tell you, they didn't have a clear answer of what they put in that word success. Let me define. That's why I came with the 5 barometer of success. The first barometer is your career. My dream as a young person was to become an entrepreneur. And I can tell you, I started my journey in 1998. So this is already 28 years that I became an entrepreneur. Because I was first working, I resigned and said, I want to become. It was not easy, don't get me wrong. For the first 3-4 years, things were tough. But I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Why? To fulfill my dream. The reason why I wanted to be an entrepreneur was not to have money, because I was not like idle. I was working, having a salary, but my was to create wealth, was also to have some autonomy, because I want to take initiative, then to create wealth. That was something, yeah. So, number 1 is a career, first barometer. The second barometer, family. Family here is so important because it becomes a source of motivation. When the business is up and down, I am saying this, I've seen failure, I've failed, I've had frustrations, disappointment, betrayal, many things. But I knew every time when I went home, I had peace. When I went home, William would say, Daddy. That was the best day in my life when I became dad. Guys, I know what I'm talking about. Because if I have not traveled around the world, almost 100 countries, you say, okay, this grand frère is just saying, if I have not met head of state, the Pope, so I know what I'm talking. God has blessed me so I can have this testimony. Because if I have not done all that, you will say, no, that brother is saying, because if he has met, I've met, who do you want me? I've met, the Pope in the Vatican. It's crazy. Dalai Lama in Osaka in Japan. Presidents, you name them. But I still tell you that the greatest time where I'm joyful is when my kid, Daddy, I don't know you guys, so I don't know what the guy would tell me. When they say Daddy, and my daughter, Princess, Daddy, with that love, or Enzo, the last guy who's the Benjamin, Daddy, Papa, yes, for me, is the biggest title. Our president. For me, it's daddy. So family is so powerful. And why I say family is powerful? Because even when things are going bad, wrong, the business might be like this, life might be like this, you go back home, you look at them, you say, I will continue. And they make you even be more responsible because you don't live alone. You have other people that count on you. And talk about the direct family. I want to end there. So if a young person say he doesn't want to have kids, I will not condemn him, but I will say, please reconsider. And why do you think he's saying that? Because I don't want, again, to condemn. Why? Maybe because he had a poor experience of his home where he came. Maybe that was not a model. And that's why for him, or what the society reflect doesn't encourage him. I don't want to, because, in my profession today as coach, I'm very careful to condemn. I prefer to ask those questions. From that, now you bring him, dear young person, the future is in the family. And marriage is a divine institution, a social institution. On the third barometer, friends. I've talked to you about Ted Ayon, about George Muford. I have my childhood friend, Prince Lambert or Landry Titalon. Now, and these my friends that I'm giving the name, they have been a great source of support. Friends are support system. Now, friends will support you if you support them. Show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. You cannot say you don't smoke, you don't drink, and you don't go all over the place, but your friends, they smoke, they do funny things. I have a problem. Because you choose your friends. You don't choose your parents. You don't choose your brother and sister, no. You choose your partner, your wife, that one. But you choose your friends. So you have to be very careful. Because in the friendship factor can take you up, can take you down. Now, if you have friends that you guys are having positive conversations, when there's a link of something of financial management or leadership stuff, they send to you. Hey, Roland, look at this, read at this. I saw something. Oh, okay, we saw a plot somewhere. You were telling me, you see, babe, guy, come, let us go and drink. I've not seen the last girl, or you count the number of girls you have sex, your palmarès. If those are your friends, drinking and sex and just talking, then I'm sorry, you are like them. Don't tell me that you are not like them. You are like them. And this advice I give also to young girl. You cannot be telling, oh no, Mr. Roy, I think I'm a serious, but your friends are prostitutes. Then I'm sorry, you are a prostitute. Show me your friends. That's all. And I will tell you who you are. Third barometer, friends. The fourth barometer is the impact in the community, what I've called the individual social responsibility. You cannot try to be outstanding without having impact in your community in terms of legacy. So you must be a community builder. What are the issues? What are the challenges that your community is facing? How do you address them? Don't say the government have not done anything. The mayor is corrupt. No. If you look at a city like Douala, look how dirty Douala is. But you came to the office, you guys can go to the restroom, to the toilet. You can eat in our toilet because we clean, not only because there's a cleaner. Our cleaner comes twice a week. But today the office, I can sweep my office. If I go to the restroom, to the toilet, I finish with, I clean the toilet and I wash my hands. Come on, these are basics. So if you look how the city is dirty, the cities are the image of its inhabitants because people are dirty. So now when you look at it, bring something. This year academy, we're cleaning the neighborhood. We didn't go to the orphanage. We went and, because there are like 200 dump, we cleaned. And some were surprised they have never cleaned. Or they were panicking because they don't clean. Even home, who clean their home? They can't arrange a bed. When they pee, they don't even clean the toilet. So you see, the impact in the community is also a powerful success barometer. And the fifth one is our spiritual life. Spirituality here is different from religion. But it's your rapport to God, to your God. You cannot try if you know God and you are afraid of God as a father. There are many things you will not do. And for me, God is love. You cannot say you have faith, but your actions totally opposite of someone who has faith in God and who is God. The spirituality here is about the faith that you have with that great creator, but the faith that you have and the relationship that you have with the neighbors, but also the relationship that you have with yourself. Because if you don't have inner peace, it will be difficult for you to give peace to others. So those are the 5 barometers. Now, if you tick all that, you see, I didn't talk about money. And that was my answer to the young people that came to me, and now we documented it. What I've called the Roland Kwemain 5 barometer of success. Now, other person can define for you what is success all about. Then, if you define it, you will say if you are successful or not. So for me, I have a great career. My dream was to be an entrepreneur. I will be till the end of my life. So I thank God. I have a peaceful family. I try to be a role model to my kids, be a responsible husband, and to also be a role model to my siblings, to my parents. Number 3, friends. I try as much as possible to be available, and they know despite my timetable, they will not have a challenge that if physically I'm not present, I'm not in the country. They know it. I don't tell lie. They will know. Oh, Roland is not. I will call, I will pray, because they also do that for me. Because friendship is not just about taking, it's about giving. The 4th, the Cameroon Leadership Academy. I'm a member of many non-for-profit organizations where I volunteer in the board. Nyango Impact, every quarter, we bring women, train them, that for free. Part of so, and many other initiatives. And I try to practice my faith as a Catholic Christian. I try as much as possible to be in line with my Creator. I try as much as possible to make sure that if I meet our Creator, because you just need to ask yourself some few questions. No one will die. There are a lot of testimony. People come and ask, they will make a drama there. Or, when you die, a colleague will speak, a family member will speak, a friend will speak. Now the question is, help them to say the truth that day. Because that day, they have to say lies or they have to say good things. This is a custom and a tradition because they cannot come and be saying bad things there. They will look at them, hey, why are you saying so bad? Please help. So I try my best to help you guys so that day, what you will say there should be what has really happened. We call that legacy. So there is no leadership without legacy. So how do you want to be remembered? That's the question. The money you need it, but you need your family. That's why I say career, you need to work. These guys, they need to work. After they need to go back home, home. Then you need friends. It's also sometimes you guys want to go out to take a drink. I'm okay. You need to create impact in your community. You cannot be in a community, it's dirty, you don't care. In a community, maybe they say there's injustice, you don't care. In a community, there are a lot of young people drop out. You don't help them. And I said it even to you guys in the academy, if you are good in math, in chemistry, in physics, you can go and be doing for free. Help some young people. So don't tell me I don't have something to give. You have something to give. It's because you are convinced that you have nothing to give, that you are nobody. Luther King said it, don't allow anybody to make you believe that you are nobody. If you believe that you are nobody, you are finished. Because you can't give what you don't have. I'm nobody, I can't give. Then also, faith in God is so powerful because if God is with you and if God is around you, who can be against you? Real faith can make you to do amazing things. I think it's just about service. If we all agree that, for me, how do I define? I didn't even find it at the beginning of our conversation. For me, everyone is a leader, or a leader is anyone who has a clear vision about his organization. So what I've called a promised land, then who inspire the stakeholders, who motivates them, who has a huge influence, but at the end of the day, who is at the service of that community. And if there is one word that we should pick out of all what I've said, is service. Now, if we had leaders in Africa that were servants who solve 80% of our issues and challenges, unfortunately, they serve more themselves than they serve. Yeah. That's the problem we're having. Because if it was a servanthood leadership, there will be. Because you will not sleep. You'll be more at the service. You become a slave. Leadership is quite difficult because that's why I said in Africa we have a lot of titleship. Leadership, if there is clear leadership, there will be result. The result is not encouraging, but I'm not desperate. I strongly believe that in organizations that will have better leaders, those organizations will be better. I've seen it in the number of years, 20 years in the corporate, training, coaching, and working in the corporate with corporate leaders. I see it even multinational. A leader will come for 3 years, the company is here, they transfer him, another one is down here. So it's yes. And the other one, so leadership is the X factor. Now, how do we do? We need to empower a new generation of leaders that will be more selfless, passionate about what they do, very proud of the African background, no inferiority complex, not to say when you want to go on holidays, you go to Dubai, Paris, you are sick, you go to America, you want to do shopping go there. They say you want to have a wedding, you go to Dubai. I'm really mad. It's inferiority complex. What do you want me to tell you? If you're not proud of who you are, that's where you have to start. Then there's a problem. Showing picture in London. Show me picture in Limbe, Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, Harare, Kigali, Abidjan, Yamoussoukro. When I met one of my great mentors who passed away, Edem Kojo, was the Secretary General, the former Secretary General of the African Union. Organisation Unité Africaine. That became African Union. He told me, he looked at my credentials. Roland, you have traveled. How many African countries we saw? You have not been in two. Go there. Ethiopia and Egypt. Before I can even preface your book. It was Lome. I had to plan and went to Ethiopia. And many things changed. I don't know if you guys have been to Ethiopia. Please go to Ethiopia. So what I'm trying to say is that if we don't know our history, it will be difficult for us to understand our present. And it will be practically impossible to project ourselves in the future. So these three terms are linked: the past, the present, and the future. But the biggest challenge of Africa is that even our history we don't know. Even our countries, we should not only teach history, we should not only learn history, we should learn from history. But it will be difficult to learn from history if we don't even know the history. So many Africans are not proud of their past because they don't know it. So they dress like the Western, they eat like a Western, we speak like Western, we do many things like Western. I'm so ashamed to eat our arrow with hands, our actual people want to eat with spoons. So we start to see some madness, our tradition. But again, the new trend, I'm happy. People are going back to the root. When I met the Dalai Lama, November 10, 2010, Osaka in Japan, it was a good encounter for me. These spiritual leaders are very powerful. When you ask questions, they don't answer. They throw back to you. But one of the lessons I drew from my meeting with him is that it is important for Africans to be proud of who they are. Now, Africa, the world needs Africa than Africa needs the world. But we are not even aware. And if you don't know who you are, that's the biggest trouble. In leadership journey, in the courses that, we have created 2 certification programs. Emle is a powerful war cry in Cameroon, which is like, the spirit, fighting spirit. Then Ubuntu for the coaching program. When we see Emle, there is the 3 part of the certification program. It's like a 3-month program to 6 months. The first part, we insist on who are you as a leader? Moi le leader, I the leader. And you will see, first, the self-knowledge. Do you know yourself? Self-esteem, then now self-confidence. Some of us, and this is a big joke I have, there's a cat, American cat, that decided to come and visit Africa, the jungles. He came, passed through Egypt, Morocco, met some lions. And hey, little cat, hey, American cat, are you not seeing us, the lion? This guy just continue. Ethiopia met, drop, came to Cameroon. Oh, lion. Hey, little American cat. Are you not seeing us? Lions. The guy went to South Africa now, went to Senegal, did all the great African forest and savanna, went back to USA. Came back and the friend, hey guy, you came back. How did you do with all those lions? In Africa, they did not eat you. The guy laughed. He said, which lion? I saw no lion. You call them lion? Chino Achebe said it very well. And I put it in French because in my language, le tigre ne proclame pas sa tigritude. Il attrape sa proie et la dévore. Tiger do not say I'm tiger. You act like a tiger. Some of us in Africa, when we watch at the mirror, the cat, maybe we are lions. Lions all over Africa is a strong symbol. But the image that comes is a cat. It's not a lion. So you watch yourself, you see yourself as a cat or as a lion. Then a cat, if he sees himself as a lion, then he will react like that. So perception. So how do you perceive yourself? How do you see yourself? That's why self-knowledge, self-esteem, now will go up to self-confidence. I will keep telling young Africans, be proud of who you are. Be proud of your background. I keep telling you, I grew in Mutengene. Do you want me to lie that I did not grow in Mutengene? What you don't know is that I grew in New Bern. True. But that's Roland Kwemain. I'm proud of that. And those background made me to be who I am. I'm a proud Cameroonian with Cameroon passport. I don't have a foreign passport. I don't have a foreign nationality. Despite that, I've traveled to more than almost 100 countries worldwide with a Cameroon passport. Is it easy? No. Is it possible? Yes. Who tells you that it should be easy? It was not easy yesterday. It's not easy today. It will not be easy tomorrow. But you have to make it. From Africa, I became JCI World President. From Boya, you know it. I went to school in Cameroon. Government schools. École publique francophone Moutiengene, lycée bilingue de Boya, lycée technique de Douala Koumassi, centre universitaire de Douala. Then later on, I can have all those foreign, but the foundation of my education, 100% credit to my country. I'm not Harvard. I'm not, I don't know. Call ordinary. I love them, but I'm sorry. I went to school in Cameroon, to government school, by the way. So put me the guys that went to those, let us talk. But you must be proud of who you are. I keep insisting. If we kill the inferiority complex, I see people have it. If they don't go to America, they have not gone. No, people are, now it's Canada, the hot king. Why do you want to go? Grand frère, people are going. Why? It's like getting married. Don't get married for the wrong reason. Don't do this program for the wrong reason. Why are you doing this? Why? The answer now will give, some people have a whole genuine plan. Maybe they want to go because they have a kid who is sick. Maybe they have a project. Not that you are here ending well. Why are you going? The guy cannot answer. I'm like, whoa, my God. Why are you going to Canada? Grand frère, people are going. What? But another person will tell, why are you going? He explained, okay. It's a whole project. And that's why I see there'll be frustration. Why? If we solve it, we have solved. Because some of our leaders, you can really see the inferiority complex. The way they dress, the way they eat, the way they have their fun. Cameroon is a beautiful country. Africa is beautiful. I would like you to take your holidays and say you have gone to Abuja. You have gone to Abeokuta. I've been to 10 states in Nigeria. So far, I've done 39 countries in Africa, which is not bad, but I really work hard to be at least 50, because there are some countries you cannot go for the moment because of the war. But again, before say I've done 100 countries, at least that was the advice of my father, Edem Kojo. So I'm now pushing. That's why the companies, when I finish work, Go Ahead Africa, and the signature, the slogan, Bright Sporting Africa. Bright Sporting Africa. If we don't love Africa, we will love Africa. If we don't speak well about our continent, our culture. Now, please don't get me wrong. If things are not also okay, we should denounce. But I'm talking about the cultural element. How come your culture? Come on. Your culture, you are ashamed of your culture. And that's why the trend, I love it now. The dress code, you can see the dances, even when people are in the Western world, you can see cultural festival, and I saw it in JCI. When my wife will wear her outfit, you are a star. But the suit and tuxedo, it's like uniform. People have 5,000, everybody. So it's like uniform, but that's, the African stuff, you are outstanding. How come we don't know that? Everybody will come want to staff with you. See our outfit in international, people come. But despite that, we are still not getting the point. Oh my God. If we get the point, then we're fine. Okay, advice, I will say, be proud of who you are. Don't be ashamed of your history. You have a great history, because this is where everything started. Learn your history and learn from your history. Advice, stop being greedy. The DNA of Africa is Ubuntu. Those who have been blessed, please be a blessing to others. Let us encourage young people. Let us empower young people. Let us stop thinking that young people are problems. For me, they are promise. And the last one was encouragement. The word encouragement will say, hey guys, whether I like it or not, our population is a strength. It's a blessing. We saw during COVID-19, the world said Africa will disappear. Africa didn't disappear. Instead, they had issue. People don't know why Africa didn't disappear. Resilience. So proud of your resilience. Please continue to be resilient. The youthfulness of your population is the biggest gift. It's not even the raw material. By the way, our raw material should be transformed in Africa. For it to be transformed, it is important for the youth to start also taking ownership of technology. Stop conversation of just drinking and sex. But again, I know and I've been with young people for the past 20 or 25 years, all my life. I think, and if I look at Go Ahead Africa, 80% of the staff, Generation Z. Thanks to these young people, we are so performant. So I have the proof that if we give these young people the right environment, we also show the way. We lead by example and we are genuine. It takes us less than 1 decade to transform Africa. I am very hopeful that the best is ahead of us. My grandma was not eating it today. I thought you wanted to use the restroom.